Hello, and welcome to MEC 280, Pollution and Human Health. My name is Jay Mendelson. I'm a lecturer in the Mechanical Engineering Department. This time, we're going to talk about global climate change. And when you talk global climate change, the first thing you need to understand is what are climate models and what is the greenhouse effect? And you're going to learn about that in the first couple of articles. You'll learn the different types of gases that are called greenhouse gases. You'll learn the mechanism by which these gases tend to retain heat in the atmosphere. And then you'll learn about what are the sources of greenhouse gas emissions, which happen to be broader than just burning fossil fuels. There are various models that indicate not only how much has climate changed over time, but how does this data tell us how climate will continue to change over time. There are some basic indicators like less snow and ice on the North Pole and ocean temperatures warming, but there's also some other subtle ones that you're going to learn about. And the evidence for global climate change is large, but it's important that you study critically what the evidence is, and that's what these articles on this page will teach you. And of course, what the climate change consequences are. The Earth is getting warmer, that's for sure, but what does that really mean for us? And some of the climate change models give you some surprising results about what it means to have the climate on Earth get warmer. You'll learn about a carbon footprint. Carbon footprint is simply how much carbon does a machine or a school or a building or even us emit in a certain amount of time, typically taken as 1 year. We emit carbon in the form of carbon dioxide, but of course that's very small compared to how much carbon mankind emits by burning fossil fuels and driving cars and running factories. The Paris Agreement was a big treaty signed about 5 years ago that bound all the nations of the world to try to do something about climate control. You'll learn about that in these first couple of agreements. Now, President Trump, back in 2017, said he was going to withdraw U.S. from the Paris Climate Agreement, but the agreement said that there's a 3-year cooling down period where you can't withdraw for 3 years. So he pretty much did nothing over 3 years, and then in 2020 said, okay, now we're withdrawing. And he had all his climate change deniers in the administration, not just him. And a lot of America's best scientists stood up to the Trump administration in this article for The Guardian, but not being as powerful as the president and all the bureaucrats that were on top of the EPA, it's very clear that they didn't get very far arguing against climate change deniers. But now we have the new Biden administration coming in, and they've said very strongly that they're going to try to reverse some of the impacts of Trump's climate change policies, which in turn tried to reverse the impact of President Obama's climate change policy. And this article here that you're going to read gets into that in trying to estimate, well, what was the effect of the Trump policies in terms of worsening climate change? But the one message I'll leave you with is that climate change and what governments do about it is very, very much in the world of the political views of the leader. If the leader doesn't want to change the economy and force certain companies and industries to deal with regulations, then it's very easy for them just to be climate change deniers. But if you want to actually do something about it, then you have to go into the science, study it carefully, and institute policies that are smart and that people will go along with to try to make an impact on the future. And with that, I will let you read all of these articles and formulate your own opinions about what we should be doing. And we'll speak to you next time.